5 do's and don'ts to maximize your life as much as possible. Without further ado though, let's dive right into this. First do on this list is to learn. Learning is one of the most important skills that you need to do in your life, which is why we're legally forced to attend school from the time we're 5 years old all the way until we can drive a car. But even with being in school for this amount of time, there's still a lot of information that you might not know. Understanding a plethora of knowledge can take you very far places in life. One of the skills that I've learned was psychology, and psychology has been a big help in my life with not just helping myself out, but also with my social life. I wouldn't call myself a master at psychology, but I will say with knowing a good amount of psychology, it's definitely helped me get places. And that's just one of the many skills that you can add to your resume, which will help you out a lot. Having a variety of knowledge will help you out a lot. And we like to call this a polymath. And a polymath has mastered multiple fields of knowledge and isn't just suited for one field. I'd like to add on to this, I feel like you don't need to master every single skill. You don't need to master it completely. In order to master a skill, it requires a ton of time and dedication. Learning musts, okay? First and foremost is it needs to benefit your life in some type of way. If you are learning how to shotgun a beer, unfortunately, that's probably not going to benefit you really in the long term. Now, you might be like, well, I'm going to be so cool. There are other ways to be cool and not damage your body at the same time. Another thing is, preferably, it needs to have multiple benefits. For example, me learning psychology. Not only can I help myself out with a plethora of problems, I can also help out other people, which can boost relationships with these other people. It can be something that you enjoy. If you really don't want to draw, then you shouldn't draw. Finally, don't overdo it. If you overload yourself with too many things to learn, you're not going to be able to learn any of it. You're going to be too saturated with information. It's like they say, if you eat too much food, your stomach's going to have a tough time digesting that stuff. Same thing with your mind. If you absorb too much information, your mind's going to have a tough time absorbing all that information. First don't that we have is excessive screen time. Now, this is a hard one that we have to deal with every single day, and most of the day, honestly, because most of us, we bring our phone pretty much everywhere we go. The University of Chicago two experiments on working memory capacity and fluid intelligence. For this experiment, they had them put their phones in different spots, which was 1, their desk, 2, in their pocket/bag, and 3, in a completely different room. As you can see by the numbers, clearly when you have your phone in the most open spot is when you're gonna go on it and you're not gonna get as good of a score. When you're excessively on your phone, you waste a lot of time. When I go on my phone for a long time, my mental energy and my focus and my motivation just go in the toilet. The problem with this too is we have most of our tasks requiring a good amount of mental energy, right? And when you're wasting most of this energy going on your phone in your free time, you're not gonna want to do these important tasks that are crucial to your success. When you waste all this time, you finally sit back and realize, wow, I wasted all this time watching these stupid, pointless brain rot videos when I could have been grinding and getting goals done. Our next do is outdoor activities. Mental health is such a big problem in today's society. According to Harvard Health, approximately 50% of the world has dealt with mental health problems. And honestly, I argue to say that even more people do. They just ran a test and, their subject said this, but there are so many people out there that are dealing with mental health problems, but they don't say anything. One thing that has changed from the past till now is going outside. Going outside is looked down upon because people think that the sun is this big, dangerous ball of fire that's gonna kill you. Being outside in the sun has a lot of benefits for your body. Look at all these benefits right here. Mental health, muscle strength, respiratory health. There's a bunch of benefits of vitamin D, which comes from the sun, by the way. And even for men, Testosterone is another benefit of getting out there in the sun. Now, what should we do in the sun? Because we can't just sit out there and do nothing. I mean, you could, but it might get boring. So I created a little list of activities that you can do. And these include walking, running, jogging, going to the beach/pool, chopping wood. This can increase your testosterone by 48.6%, okay, after an hour of chopping wood. Now, this is a little bit harder to come across, but if you happen to want to chop some wood, you definitely should do it. And I've done it like once, and let me tell you something, man. It was so fun. I felt like a freaking lumberjack badass. Timber! Sports, yard work, right? Cleaning up the yard, mowing the lawn, painting the house, whatever. And one that I do a lot is when I'm driving somewhere, I will roll down the windows and my sunroof and just get sun, even if it's for like 5-10 minutes, right? It just feels nice riding with the windows down. My AC is also broken. There is some must though for sun. You should be getting at least 20 to 30 minutes of sunlight a day. And you also should enjoy what you're doing outside. And our next don't is we have nightlife. Now, a lot of people are probably gonna be like, what? Dude, this is my favorite activity in the whole week. It's not the best thing that you should be doing with your time. And this is big amongst a lot of college kids. I'm in college right now, and a lot of people go out a lot in college, right? When they should be locking in for school. And a lot of people will choose worse majors to major in because they want to have free time to go to the club. And now when I say don't go to the club, I don't mean that never ever do it. I mean, I don't go ever, but once in a blue moon, you know, maybe once a month at the max, maybe go. But it's a waste of time and it's a waste of money. Now we'll look at the pros and cons of the club. Pros of going to the club or bar is you have fun, you can meet people, and you can seem cool. However, I will say for the before we get to the cons, you don't need to go to the club to be cool. I don't go to the club, and I would say that I'm a pretty cool guy. Now, let's go to the cons. The biggest one is that it's expensive. You want to go to the club, that it's pretty expensive. It adds up, you know, because most people go to the club, they want to drink, and you buy drinks at the club, very expensive. And you got better things to do than going to the club, right? Like I said before, outdoor activities, training, and even being productive with friends. It is so much better if you want to hang out with friends and do some fun stuff, even go play in some sports. You're not damaging your body, you're not wasting money, and you're having a good time, if not better than the club. Next is we got alcohol/drugs, right? The club scene and the night scene, all this night scene stuff, it's got a lot of alcohol and drugs with it. And alcohol and drugs is terrible for your physical and mental health. You're not gonna be locked in. And lastly, it's just a toxic environment. Most people that are going to the club, especially a lot of guys, you know, want to go to the club and meet some girls. Vice versa, girls want to meet some guys. Most of these people are just looking for a one-night stand type of thing. Most of these people are not locked in life. Most of these people are drinking and doing drugs to feel some sort of happiness. So this is just overall a toxic environment. And when you're around toxicity, it's gonna drag you down as well. But next up on our list is we got good diet. This is one of the most important things that so many people neglect. You want to be at the top of your game for your performance level, whether you're a student, you're an athlete, you got a job, whatever it is. You need to be having a good diet in order for you to be at the top of your game physically and cognitively. Now, what is a good diet, you may be asking? Well, a good diet is one that improves your overall health, okay? It incorporates a balance of food groups that fulfill your macronutrients and your micronutrients, okay? That's a big one a lot of people mess up on, is the micronutrients. Now, the best type of diet is a balanced diet, okay? Getting as many food groups as you can. And I've listed here all the food groups that you should be getting. Proteins, carbs, fats, fruits, veggies, dairy. These foods, I picked out the best foods for each of these categories. I wanted to talk specifically about why micronutrients are so crucial, right? And here we're going to be talking about rice, okay? Because I'm a lifter, man, and a lot of people eat rice, okay? So we're going to be comparing rice versus quinoa for a serving of them, okay? So, rice, 19% daily value of manganese, which is good for recovery and production of energy. Thiamine, 6% daily value, and this converts carbs into ATP, which is energy. Folate, 2 to 4% daily value, supports recovery and cardiovascular health. This is also very important for women too. So, iron, 2%, carries oxygen in the body. This is also important for women too, but don't be mistaken, men, you need this too. And magnesium, 3%, supports recovery and cardiovascular health. Manganese, 58%, right? This is almost 3 times more. Yeah, almost 3 times more than rice. Magnesium, 30%. This is 10 times more than rice. Folate, 19%. This is around 5 times more than rice. Iron, 15% daily value. And at the bottom, we have zinc, 13%, which is good for muscle recovery and hormone balance, right? Zinc is one micronutrient that a lot of people are not getting as much as they should, okay? But this is just showing you, man, look at all these things that these micronutrients do, okay? And you're opting for these foods that have less of those nutrients that are crucial to your cognitive functioning and your body functioning, okay? So I'm just trying to raise awareness and let y'all know that you need to be looking out for your micronutrients as well as your macronutrients, especially gym bros. Now we're going to go to the solar opposite. Don't number 3 is having a bad diet. The biggest problem I see with a bad diet is the fact that it's so normalized nowadays, especially in college. You know, you think about college, what do you think about? Oh my gosh, dude, let's go get some ramen noodles and we're definitely going to be at peak mental performance for our tests that are very important. The problem with a bad diet is it's consistent junk. Maybe once in a while, you know, you have a cheat meal. Cool. But if you're eating crap all day long, every single day, you're cooked. A common misconception is that healthy food is expensive. So right here, I got 2 pictures. So the cheeseburger on the left, it's $8.59 for a meal, which is around 1,000 calories, right? And it's filled with a bunch of crap, mind you. And on the right, I got 10 pounds of russet potatoes from Aldi for $5.19, plus a little bit of tax. And the math on this amount of potatoes is you're getting around 3,500 calories for these potatoes. So people will say, oh, healthy food's expensive. It's really not. McDonald's is more expensive than 10 pounds of potatoes. I mean, shoot. 2021 survey showed 71.8% of people choose bad diet because of convenience. And then 37.6% chose it because it tasted delicious, right? We got a lot of people that are getting lazy and they don't want to cook. And unfortunately, this has detrimental effects on your health. Bad diets lead to a plethora of chronic diseases, mainly due to inflammation and just, you know, most of these things that are put in foods like preservatives and crap, they're literally poison for your body, bro. Chronic diseases are now the major cause of death in practically every single nation of the world, with around 60% of the total number of human deaths. 60%. And I guarantee you, the reason people are getting these diseases is because of environmental factors like having a bad diet. Every day you have the choice to eat good or to eat bad. Obviously, bad things are going to happen to you in life. That's just how it is. But why increase the risk, right? Why not try to live a long life and eat healthy foods? Our next do is we got valuing your time. Time is one of the only currencies that every single human being has the same amount of. And that is why it is so important for with this time to use it effectively and not waste our time on a bunch of crap. And the problem is we already basically have 2/3 of our day taken. You sleep for 8 hours, you have 8 hours of work, okay? That's 8 plus 8, 16, 24 hours in a day. So that leaves us with 8 hours left. But that's not even counting driving from work to home, eating food, having to do chores, and then all the non-beneficial activities that we all do pretty much every day. And it's like they say, time is money, and we waste our time pretty much every single day. Let's look at some of the things that we waste our time on. TV shows. That's a big one. You know, you go on Netflix, watch a 50-minute episode. That's an hour that could have been spent, you know, improving your life in some type of way. Doom scrolling, that is bad. Movies, worrying. I understand, you know, life is hard. You just gotta focus on what's in your control. If it's not in your control, then, you know, don't stress out about it. You know, just worry about the stuff that you can actually have an impact on. Social media, sports, watching sports, man. What I will say is sometimes, you know, you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to spend every second of your day benefiting your life, you know. But it's excessive waste of time every day that really gets us. Going out, like I just said earlier, nightlife, video games, man. Shopping. Shopping is not only wasting time, but it's wasting money. It's really pointless. I mean, unless you need it, I mean, you really shouldn't buy it. The news. Now, it is good to know certain things. When you're watching the news constantly, bro, it's such a waste of time. Learning about everything that's going on in the world, bro. Most of the stuff that's going to be on the news is negative, right? They're not going to go on the news and be like, local man donates $50K to a shelter of puppies. Toxic relationships. If it's bringing you down, bro, you need to get out of there. And this isn't just girlfriends, it's friends too. Even family, man. If you're getting dragged down, bro, you need to value your time and get out of there. Alcohol and drugs. That leads us to our don't number 4, which is neglecting mental health. And as we looked at earlier, about 50% of the world is dealing with mental health problems. Men are the biggest ones that really neglect mental health. I don't know why, but for some reason men are taught not to have emotions. Or not taught, but expected to not. It's a societal expectation that is very ignorant. We're not robots, bro. We're human beings. We're gonna have emotions. I think what the problem that they specify on is how you handle these emotions. People think if you handle your emotions properly, it means that you don't have emotions. That's not true at all, okay? Even monks are some of the most mentally disciplined human beings on the earth. They have emotions, they just deal with them properly. These statistics that I brought up, over 49,000 people in 2023 died by suicide, okay? RIP to all these individuals. I actually had a buddy take his own life. RIP to him, and bless his family's heart. So every 11 minutes, someone is taking their life. And it's not just that, but look at all these people that have thought about suicide. 12.8 million have seriously thought about suicide, and I guarantee there's more. These are people that are thinking about suicide. This isn't just people that are just having mental health problems. Mental health is seriously important, and you could lose your life. You got school, which is very stressful, work, which is very stressful, life is so hard, man. A lot of letdowns in life, for sure, and this can lead to stress and depression. Relationships, politics, drama, social media, and then we have death, man. Leads us to the next do, which is a solar opposite of neglecting our health, our mental health, and that is protecting our minds. Our brain is our best tool. And that is the reason why humans have been able to be so successful and been basically the apex animal for thousands of years. But it's also our worst tool at the same exact time. Marcus Aurelius, he was a famous Stoic. Basically what he said is, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. You have no control over traffic, but you get pissed off at it. The only thing you have control over is your mind getting mad at this traffic. You don't have control over the traffic, but you choose to get mad. In a split second, you get into this angry emotion and you just waste your time, your energy, and even your health. How can we actually improve our mind? I've split it up into two categories: mental and physical ways to improve our minds. First, for mental, meditation and breath work. I meditate every day, and I will say it is amazing. Even just as little as 5 minutes a day can go long ways. Prayer, reading. Reading is another good mental way to improve ourselves. You know, not only that, we can read about psychology. I've read about psychology, learned more about my brain, and it's helped me fix my problems. Journaling, which is just writing down your emotions. Art, basically you can express your emotions in a visually cool way. And communicating with trusted ones. A mindset, you know, what your mindset is, right? Like I said earlier, man, you know, if you change your mindset about traffic, whereas it's like, I can't control this, so why am I gonna get mad about it? You know, you're getting mad at something that isn't even in your control and you're just wasting your time. Completing mental tasks. Completing tasks like all these ones I've said earlier, you know, meditating, reading, journaling, even studying a lot. It's just making your brain stronger. You need to work out your brain. Your brain is a muscle, just like every other muscle in your body. You need to work it out. Finally is suppressing the effects of your emotions. Let's go with physical, okay? Runs, walks, lifting, MMA, okay? MMA is such a good one, especially men. You know, you got a lot of frustration, anger. You got some testosterone in that body of yours, man. You need to use it effectively, okay? And MMA is such a good one. It's highly competitive, which is amazing for testosterone, and it's highly draining too. You use up so much energy when you're doing this. Every time I'm done doing MMA, I'm so peaceful, bro. And I just, like, I get all this extra weight thrown off my shoulders. Affection, okay? Sunlight, as we said earlier, that gives you happiness. Fun hobbies. And then animals. Animals are actually proven to give you dopamine and oxytocin just by petting them. Final things to understand about your mind, okay, is not every day is going to go good. You're gonna have some bad days, and things don't go as planned. You know, you think that this is gonna happen in life. Life will throw some obstacle right in your path. We're only in control of ourselves. We gotta stop getting upset about things that we have no control over, because there's a lot of things that we get upset over that we have literally zero control over. That is a pain, but pain equals lessons. Enduring pain, it only makes you stronger. So, I mean, that's something to look forward to. Now, our last don't is being around negative people. A lot of people have inflated egos, and this is because they are insecure. Pretty much every single human being on this earth that you meet is insecure about something. And a lot of people don't handle these insecurities, and this leads to being a negative person. Even if, you know, let's say they're not really like a negative person, they might be doing a lot of negative habits. For example, you know, if you're friends with someone that smokes weed all the time, you're probably gonna be smoking weed too. Life is hard enough, man. You know, you don't need people dragging you down. It's like, if you're not benefiting, bro, you need to skedaddle. I'm not saying like if your friend isn't giving you $10 every day, you need to go. But if you're being dragged down and like every time you're hanging out with someone you feel negative, you shouldn't be doing that, bro. And it's not personal, dude. You're looking out for yourself. You gotta remember that you need to look out for you before you can look out for other people. okay? And majority of the people that are in your life are gonna come and go. They say you are who you hang out with. And humans have an urge to fit in. And this is because we're social creatures by nature. You know, we thrive off of being social. I put in a bonus due. And the reason I did this is because I wanted the ratio of positive to negative to be higher in the positive section, man. Bonus due number 6 is to help other people. Helping other people has a plethora of benefits. You just feel good knowing that, you know, you don't even have to do it. Not too long ago, me and my girlfriend, we helped this homeless guy out. You know, we saw him, he was sleeping on a box on the sidewalk. So I had a comforter and I had clothes. And so I gave him the comforter and I gave him a couple pairs of clothes and I gave him a little bit of money. Helping people that need it. You know, that homeless guy, man, he needed it. It's nice to know that, you know, you're helping out the community. You know, you're making the world a better place. The world is just, it's filled with so much toxicity. For that guy, you know, that I helped out, you know, he probably has been getting ignored by, you know, thousands of people every day passing by him. And then this one person or these 2 people come up to him and just give him a bunch of supplies. It may not be the best supplies. It's just giving the world hope, and, you know, we need some hope in today's world. As a man, it's in our nature to look out for others. You know, it's in our nature to help out the elderly, help out the sick, help the women, help the children. You know, we are the protectors of all these people. And in society nowadays, you know, we've kind of lost this. It's almost like a me thing. It's all about, oh, how am I going to do in my life? You know, how am I going to get this car, this house, you know, all about me. But as men, bro, it is our duty to protect and serve our people. And so helping other people, especially as a man, is very beneficial, but it's beneficial for women too. Before you help other people, you need to save yourself first. We have come to a conclusion with the 5 do's and don'ts to max out your life. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys learned a lot of valuable lessons, and have a blessed day.